Boxing Ego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Abel Sanchez tells all in a recent interview. Stay tuned.
Jamal Charlo. What do you...
No, he will have whoever Gennady wants. But Gennady's going to make a decision based on what he wants to do, not what the WBC is telling him he needs to do, not what the IBF is telling him what to do. He's going to do what he feels he needs to do. Mm-hmm. That being said, if he decides that he doesn't want to fight for a particular belt, then you know what, the belt can go. Mm-hmm. He knows what his priorities are.
What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang, notification gang, please hit the bell icon. Shout out to the super chats, channel donations, the Venmo donations, and the Patreon family. We working. Now, shout out to Behind the Gloves, Michelle Joy Phelps, the whole movement. Link in the description. She has an exclusive interview with Abel Sanchez, and they went over a lot. So again, shout out to them. Link in the description. Now, in my opinion, Abel Sanchez did say some things in that interview that left me confused, befuddled. And I'm going to kind of go over some quotes. If you guys want, you guys can go listen to what he said verbatim. And I'm just going to break down. I'm probably going to paraphrase because I don't feel like writing down the exact word for word quote. But again, the link is in the description so you can take a listen and peruse over there yourself and watch him saying all of this stuff on camera. Now, Michelle Joy Phelps was kind of trying to get to the bottom of it. Obviously, big fight fell apart in May that his side was a part of. Golovkin didn't get to fight Canelo. We all know what happened. Canelo failed 2 drug tests, February 17th, February 20th, and then it was a snowball effect from that point. Now, some of the things that Abel Sanchez says left me confused. For example, in this interview, Abel said that Triple G is not about the almighty dollar. But my immediate question to that would be, the way he was making it sound is that Triple G, he's not just about money, it's about legacy and stuff like that. But Triple G is a prize fighter. It's not a bad thing that a prize fighter wants a prize or wants to be compensated. So when you make him out to be a fighter who's fighting for the fans and Mexican style and just different things like that, my immediate question and rebuttal would be, why does he now want 50-50? If the only holdup, Golden Boy says they'll give you the fight if you take the same terms that you wanted, or not that you wanted, that you accepted in May, and we all had a fight. Canelo's doing everything to prove his innocence, so he'll be allowed to fight unless something else comes up or another failed drug test or whatnot between now and the fight in September. Then why are you now kind of holding up negotiations asking for more money, which is basically a higher percent? If you have 35% now and you're saying, hey, it's unfair, Golovkin's the champion, we took a lot of concessions, which could all be true. A lot of concessions in the first fight. We believe 50-50 or no fight, 50-50 or Canelo can stick it, as Abel said in this interview, right? So if that's your belief, then that goes against and is an immediate contradiction to what you said. So I'm confused there. How are you going to say he's not about the almighty dollar, but then the holdup for this whole fight is money, is the almighty dollar? A percentage split. Why else would someone want a higher percentage? Because they want a bigger slice or a more fair slice of the pie, and the slice of the pie is the money that is accrued in this fight. Other parts that I didn't really understand is Abel Sanchez says Billy Joe Saunders is too hard to work with. And to me, my thing is, why not just get on the phone? Not you personally, but your people, your side, Tom Loeffler, get on the phone. Billy Joe Saunders just pulled out of the Martin Murray fight again. So, to me, I don't think he's injured that fast again. It just seems like all too convenient. And the injury they're saying he has, his hamstring, you know what I'm saying? A hammy injury. It just sounds all too convenient. So I don't really believe and subscribe to the belief that he is truly injured and he cannot compete versus Martin Murray in an already rescheduled fight because the first fight had an injury. So again, instead of speculating that Billy Joe Saunders would want more money, or he's going to be too difficult to deal with, because maybe he was in the past, but then no fights that fell apart at one point would ever get done if you just go off of the first negotiations and just assume that the second negotiations are going to be a headache, i.e. Floyd Mayweather versus Manny Pacquiao. We know the history. We know the first fight fell apart because of the drug testing. We knew there was a second offer where Floyd said 40 million, no pay-per-view, and Pacquiao hung up the phone or passed the phone off when Floyd called him directly, etc. But at some point they got it done because we got to see the fight, despite who had to get involved or whatever to make it happen. So my thing is, instead of saying Billy Joe Saunders is too hard to work with, see if he's down to fight, see if it's a real thing, especially since Golovkin's side said that they were in it for the fans and Mexican style and they wanted to collect all the belts. He's the last link to that, right? Now, this is probably one of the most confusing statements that Abel Sanchez says, and I got the rough approximate for a timestamp. If you fast forward this interview, maybe it's a 15-minute interview or so, about 3 minutes and 30 seconds, Abel Sanchez, he replies to a question from Michelle Joy Phelps, in which Michelle Joy Phelps is asking, she says, what are your thoughts on the WBC? They says, if Golovkin does not fight against Canelo Alvarez next in September, and they're urging him to fight Canelo in September for the fans, for what's right, for closure, all that stuff. But if he does not, he knows the rules, and he's gonna have Charlo next. And then Abel Sanchez almost cuts off the questioning to rebuttal and respond, and he says Gennady will have whoever he wants next, right? And then right after that, he goes in and he says Triple G is gonna do what he wants to do. If he decides to not fight for a particular belt, then you know, and this is a direct quote, then you know the belt can go on. Once again, Triple G is gonna do what he wants to do. If he decides to not fight for a particular belt, then you know the belt can go. So in that whole little stanza of the interview, Abel Sanchez is now saying that he's not doing what the WBC orders him to do or mandates him to do to keep his belt. He's not going to do what the IBF mandates him to do if he doesn't think it aligns with his goals, his vision, or whatever. So the way I interpret it, and I don't really think how he said it, there's another way to interpret it, is AKA in layman's terms that we're going to do, or Triple G is going to make the decision that he feels is most comfortable or the best decision for his career, despite a sanctioning body and what they order. AKA, we are willing to get stripped of whatever title because he says, and I quote, the belt can go. I don't know how else you can interpret that. So you're basically sounding like, hey, if it's either do what they say and they're trying to strip us, then they can strip us because the belt can go. Triple G is going to make the decisions that he wants. He's going to do what he wants. Now, my biggest rebuttal, my biggest question for that is fine. That's your standpoint. But it is hypocritical because isn't that not what Canelo did in September of 2016 when he vacated his belt for his reasons? Because he felt at that time that he didn't want to fight Golovkin, or he was going through a lawsuit with All-Star Boxing, and he got rid of his WBC belt, and everybody shamed him. Everybody said he was a coward. People were going to his post because Triple G was pressing him and saying, hey, no, give me my belts. Hey, Canelo, fight me now, not for future, right? And people like myself and a ton of other boxing fans rode with that. We listened to that. We were the ones that gave Canelo a lot of flack. We gave Canelo a lot of shit. Obviously, some people went more above and beyond, like I said, going to his page, putting a bunch of chickens and stuff like that. But that was the response in general that Canelo got when he vacated his strap. And we all, real boxing fans, because we didn't get the fight we wanted as promised, because Canelo's team did meet with Triple G in December 2015 and agreed that they're going to have one voluntary fight of their choice and defend their titles against whoever, and then they were to meet and negotiate. And then Canelo kind of broke that and decided to do his own thing. He says, I'm not going to be met with these artificial deadlines. I don't care about the WBC title at this point. I'm getting sued. I'm pending a lawsuit with All Star Boxing in Miami. And as a result, here, Golovkin wants the belt. They're trying to strip me if I don't negotiate with him in 15 days. Have the belt, right? And then listen to Team Triple G side, listen to the fans of Triple G. Everybody razzed Canelo for that decision. But this sounds eerily similar to what Abel Sanchez is saying that he's going to do, his side is willing to do. AKA, if you order or try to order a fight and it doesn't align with our goals, or it's not with what we're trying to do at that point, no matter what, no matter how good the fight is or whatever, the belt can go. Somebody clarify that for me. How is that any different than what Canelo did? You know what I mean? And if you try, you're probably gonna look dumb, because it's a very similar situation. You know what I mean? Canelo had 15 days to negotiate. See, and that's the thing with YouTube. All these videos are up. This is not just me saying it 2 years later and just picking a standpoint. I have the videos to prove everything that I'm saying and to show you. And I, as well as a lot of other people, gave Canelo a lot of hell for that decision, because it wasn't a decision that made him look good, didn't put him in a favorable light. Again, the videos are still up. You guys can type in Canelo vacates WBC boxing ego and listen to everything that I said in 2016, because I was an active YouTuber then, right? So it's not making sense, and to me it looks really shaky that Abel Sanchez would now say almost the same thing 2 years later. The same thing that we gave Canelo hell for, vacating a belt and not taking your mandatory, because Golovkin was Canelo's mandatory at the time. Now he's saying if they order Derevyanchenko, or if they order Charlo, or if a sanctioning body orders a Jacobs rematch and it's not what we want to do, the belt can go. That's a direct quote. The belt can go. Shout out to Behind the Gloves. Just check it out and listen to the interview. And he says Gennady will have who Gennady wants. Triple G is gonna do what he wants. Is that not what Canelo's been doing? Doing whatever he wants. Not, saying a belt doesn't define me. I'm gonna make the moves that I want. So to me, Abel Sanchez kind of in this interview, he went against the WBC. It didn't sound like he really favored some of the motions, and he basically told the whole world that their team, their side, despite all the harsh words for Canelo, and no, he's not a true fighter, and he's a businessman, he's a clown, and he vacated. It shows what he's about. They're about the same thing. And then to top it off, they're telling the fans that he's not about the almighty dollar, but he wants 50-50. So to me, it sounds like Triple G's side is doing most or all of what they condemn Canelo or other fighters for. Mayweather wants to fight Conor McGregor. They said it was a circus. It's a business fight. But then you're just saying that Triple G is going to do what he wants to do, despite what the WBC, IBF, WBA, or whoever has to say with it. You know what I mean? The belt can go, is what you said directly. And then Abel Sanchez, to close up, he says he was kind of responding to the WBC's actions, and he felt threatened. He felt the WBC was threatening him. Canelo saying, oh, you got to fight Canelo, or you're going to fight Charlo. And he says, and I quote, the WBC threatening him in their side with the option of Charlo, if no Canelo. He says, and I quote, kind of ignorant. He said it was kind of ignorant. The WBC and Mauricio Suleiman, he needs to be the WBC president, not a matchmaker. So, told you, the walls are closing in for Triple G. You guys let me know your opinions, but to me, it just sounds like a lot of hypocrisy. What you condemn other fighters for, namely Canelo, but other people included like Mayweather, McGregor, Conor, and Floyd, it sounds like your side is willing to do it. You want the big bucks, what you feel you've earned, what you know is available, or whatever. You condemn Canelo for getting rid of his belt, but you're saying the belt can go in your case too. So that's all I want is an answer in the comment section. What's the difference? Make sure you smash the like button as always. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Till next video is Ego signing off. So if you enjoyed this video and want more content like this on the channel, you can show your appreciation by going to the PayPal donate button or the YouTube support button. And you can donate any amount that you feel is equivalent to the value of this video. Much more to come. Thank you guys for your support. Boxing Ego, the future of boxing.